Okay, so boom, you want to start a podcast. The very first thing you need to do is go to anchor.fm and download the Anchor app. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free $99. You can record from a computer or you can record directly from your phone, and it sounds amazing recording from your phone. Anchor is equipped with creation tools that allow you to edit your audio and even add sound effects. They will distribute your podcast on many platforms such as like Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Best of all, you can monetize. Just as I'm recording this here sponsorship, you can do the exact same thing. And you can get a couple of coins every time someone listens to your podcast. So how cool is that? So go to anchor.fm or go to your favorite app store, download the Anchor app, and get started today. I can't wait to hear your podcast.
She do what she wanna do. She do what she wanna do. Ooh. She do what she wanna do.
She do what she wanna do. Lower to the grave, tell you like it is to your face. She don't play. Aries chick down for it all. Know that she a boss. No competition, no loss. From the Midwest to the A, Autumn got you tuning in, no delay. Ooh, get you right every time. Keep you laughing on a dime. Tell you truth, no lies. So you can live your best life. Cover all topics, no limits. Got something for your mama and your children, no holding back. No gimmicks, coming on strong, get straight to business. Oh yeah.
Do what she wanna do.
Live life, live life.
She do what she wanna do.
Live life, live life,
She
live
do
life.
what she wanna do.
Live life, live life,
She
live
do
life.
what she wanna do.
Live life, live life, live life. Live life, live life.
I'm still coughing.
I was trying to hold it in. I was trying to do my
It's
part.
not the Rona, y'all. It's not the Rona.
You know, I'm a guest, so I don't want to cough first.
All right. You were more than welcome to as the guest.
You know, I was
Just go to set the whole thing off.
trying to do my part.
So anyways, thank you for tuning in again, or if it's your first time to the Lit Life podcast. I am your host, Autumn the Aries. And today I have a guest actually in the studio. Y'all know this is my studio, my spare bedroom. But I
got invited to the girls' hangout.
Yes.
I got invited.
Yes. So good friend of mine, actually one of my best friend's sister.
Older sister.
All of our big sister at one point in time. Miss D. Or do you want me to say the whole name?
I mean, it's D.
Okay,
It's-
D.
yeah,
D is what it
D's
is.
cool.
So what's up, girl?
Nothing much. Still doing tax returns, as you know. So, you know, we're going to have a little chat today and talk about a few other things and just kind of see how it flows.
Yeah, so I invited D over here after actually having a conversation with J Boog. Shout out to J Boog of the J's Quick 3 podcast, and I was telling her about how I was able to get some things written off on my taxes as far as like podcasting is concerned. And she was like, what? And it just made me like, let me reach out to Denise, see if she want to come and, you know, say something on the show, whatever. So anyways, that's why she's here.
Yeah.
But I want to tell everybody, first of all, like I said, it's one of my best besties from college.
Nicole Bolden.
Yes.
I'm
So,
Denise. I mean, you know, everybody.
I already said it
Yeah,
anyway,
you know what I'm
so,
saying?
you know.
It's
It
the
is
Bolden
what it
clan.
So, and that's how we met. And sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I keep coughing. I'm sorry. That's rude. Denise, they lived in Dayton, Ohio. Y'all know I'm from Toledo. I say that almost every episode. So that's how we met. Nicole was at the University of Toledo when I was at the University of Toledo, and we just really became like the best of friends. And these Hobo Chronicles that y'all hear, like she's aware, she's 100% aware of all of the Hobo Chronicles. So shout out to her. Actually, she was one of the ones that kind of motivated me to write about them or whatever. So love you, Nikki. I need to reach out to you. But anyways,
I just want to tell the quick story. First, nah, we ain't gonna do shut the fuck up yet. We gonna do this after this story. I want to tell the story. Do you know what story I'm about to tell?
I mean, there's only one. Like
Okay.
the one story is so great that there's a lot of other stories to tell. But I hope you telling the one that I really showed y'all who I was on. So
Nigga. So y'all
man.
know I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. Okay. The new stadium had just opened, or maybe had been open a year, and they decided to have the All-Star game there. So me, Nikki, Toy, our whole little crew, we have been talking about going to All-Star for years. Because, you know, we trying to find us a baller. You know what I'm saying? So
and y'all did. So
I mean,
you know, I just feel I need to thank you for this story. I mean, you know, without me, it would have never happened.
Yeah.
See how I sprinkle that love.
Yeah. Y'all hear that, but listen to this shit though. So
this how I sprinkle the love, y'all. It's like tough love, but I swear it's the best love in the world.
first and foremost,
Stand
for
up.
whatever reason, it's cold in Dallas. Why is it cold in
It's
Dallas?
never
right
cold
now?
in Dallas, but it snowed and everything when y'all came
Yes.
down. It was like Dallas don't like visitors.
I mean,
The DF Dub don't like visitors. They don't like y'all coming to their city. It's something funny about it. It happened again one time on the Super Bowl. It was icy and it
just don't even make sense.
It don't like visitors, man. DF Dub like regulars.
So
at the stadium.
It's cold, but you know we had a good time throughout the whole weekend. Before I tell the actual story, but throughout the whole weekend, we had matching. What was it? Was they Coogi dresses?
Y'all had matching Coogi dresses.
Yes.
Yellow heels. I was so cute.
It was so cute and so
Big
much
ups
fun.
to my cousin Michelle Sugg. She was there too. Or excuse
Yes.
me, Michelle Angel.
So
Yes.
we get to the
All-Star
All-Star
weekend.
game, y'all. Now, first of all, our broke asses ain't really got no seat. We got this whole good old standing room only, which it was still lit. I don't even think I would have wanted to really sit down at the moment, except my feet was hurting because I had heels on. So we had a great time at the All-Star game. I mean, like, it was so lit. This was 2010.
cold.
It was cold, but it was so much fun. So we leaving the All-Star game. Can't nobody find Denise.
So look, I'm trying to call everybody. I'm calling everybody's phone. Nobody's answering the phone. I'm with Michelle. We the elders of the group. Like, we not really trying to be in the cold like that. And this was really to our defense before Uber was really off the chain like that. So you pretty much had to call a cab, and once it was out there, you ain't had time. Or
Right.
Yeah. Y'all weren't answering your phone.
I mean,
It's to my defense. We left their ass. We do it again too. It was freezing. I don't care how she about to tell this story. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. We got in our shit and we rolled out, and they was salty about it. And what y'all end up doing? Because this how I sprinkle the love. This is the good part of the story.
Nikki was like, "Oh, we gonna get home. We gonna get to wherever the hell we got to go." So Nikki goes up
That's
to
what I
this.
taught her.
Nikki goes up to this limo, and basically poked her head in there and was like, "Look, how much do we have to pay to get home?" Because like the cabs, they weren't paying us no attention.
They was pre-called like ours was.
Right. So, long story short, it's like four of us, and it's like 7 or 8 dudes in this limo. Like, we legit jumped in the limo with them, and they took us home. And I did meet probably the love of my life. Y'all hear me talk about him all the time. You know what I'm saying? We ain't together no more, but that's okay.
I'm just saying.
But it really was like one of the best times of my life. So I want to thank you personally, even though you left our ass the hell out there in the cold, honey.
Who you say had that idea?
It was Nick. It was
She
definitely
was taught
Nikki.
well. She was
It
taught
was
well.
definitely
She was
Nikki.
taught to
I mean, she
survive.
was like,
Yes, yes,
somebody.
yes.
She was like, no, somebody
Yes, we
is gonna
ain't
take
get
us
dressed
home.
cute like this.
Right.
Forget that. They can take their old asses on home. We ain't trying to go home. Nah.
And it was a Dallas Cowboy in there, and I can't even remember the man name. He real old, probably like from like the 70s or like early 80s, but whatever. But it was lit. So anyway, thank you, because that was
You're welcome.
the best. So anyways, That's how we know each other. All right,
But
so
that is a crazy way to meet me.
Right.
I know you had a lot to say.
I was like,
it was freezing. And listen, we had on clothes. I wasn't dumb. I think I had on like a big ass bomber jacket with a scarf.
We out there in some old little ass shit doing the stupid.
Coochie.
Girl.
Dresses.
Girl, we went in that Walmart. It was like a Walmart across the way.
Across the way, yeah.
And went in the Walmart, girl.
Looking like hookers.
Hookers. Full fledged.
You know. Let them, hey, they gonna have to get home.
High price.
What I'm supposed to, y'all went, I promise you, I kept calling your phones. That's the best I could do. Like, I couldn't make the cab driver wait.
I don't know what happened.
The only answer to that would be us being out there too, and we wasn't dressed appropriately to be putting our heads in people's limos. They would have put us out.
Yeah, well.
So, you know, I knew y'all had a better chance of survival.
It was lit though. It was lit.
Dallas be lit. Yeah, Texas be lit.
So that's that. But all right, so we're gonna go ahead and go into the Shut the Fuck Up Award. I always be hoping that I hit the right button, but we about to see.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up. Goddamn, nigga.
So go ahead with your Shut the Fuck Up Award.
You know, I didn't really think about this as long as I probably should have thought about it, because it'll probably piss a few people off. But, like, for real, people that's not in the medical field, just share your information and let people come to their own conclusion and shut the fuck up.
Please.
Quit telling motherfuckers they not woke. This shit on everything. Like, you not... I don't fucking secret society this shit. And I got a news flash to you. Like, it ain't been no secret. Like, all of the bills and laws and shit, there's a government website that has all of that shit online. We just don't go through it and read the shit that they be voting on. It just kind of is what it is. So, I mean, okay. I mean, it's a lot of information out there. And at some point, everybody is believing somebody's point of view. So
real.
let people have their free thought. You know, if you free in thought, you free in thought. You take the information and you come to your own conclusion. That's being free. Not arguing back and forth with folks about which version is which, because people are dying. And, I mean, you're talking to people's families. So we got to, you know, respect those that's in the industry, though, because they, you know, explain it to me.
Yes.
You know, I
make
want
it make
information.
sense.
You know, I'm not saying I'm trying to be out here asleep, but I'm not, you know, the whole super woke.
It's one of them things, like, science is science, and to our knowledge, which is what would be disputed in this case, but to our knowledge, like, it ties out. You know what I'm saying? It's like how I'm with you. I'm like, look, think how you feel. Put the, you know, if there's information you want to share, please share. I'm gonna go ahead and say don't overshare, because sometimes people just get, you know, we get tired of seeing the shit. But you ain't gotta sit and call nobody stupid or dumb, or you ain't gotta say that they sleep, or you ain't gotta do this, that, and the third. That's not the way to teach.
Exactly.
If all you can do is say, oh, since you're not doing this, or since you're not thinking this way, you're dumb, or you're stupid, or you're asleep, then that just, you'll never get anybody to even halfway want to listen to what you have to say. So I get it. So that was a good one. My shut the fuck up is something that I've probably tweeted every day for the past week. So there's this coffee shop I go to in Smyrna, Cafe Lucia. Have you ever been there? Okay. So Cafe Lucia, and it's on like this real cute little, you know, street or whatever, really nice residence. You know, I mean, it's such a cutesy little area. And when I ride down the street, I see a bunch of people in groups. It's always at least 3 people at the very least, you know, and they're doing their normal probably activities that they used to do, you know, walking the neighborhood, they're walking the dogs, they have the kids on the bikes, they're doing this, that, and the other. I'm not understanding why you can't put a mask on. If you gon' do it, okay? If you gon' do it, if you are gonna be out here, you know what I'm saying? And I don't really want to hear people saying how uncomfortable they are. They are, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely something that you have to get used to, but there's people that are wearing these masks like 12 hours a day to save your ass. So I don't understand why out in the fresh air, you know, if y'all are gonna gather by the moles or whatever, if y'all are gonna, I understand you don't want to keep putting it up and down if you're having a drink. I get all of that, but y'all just out here walking and doing whatever in groups, and nobody can put a mask on. Like, it's extremely selfish. Like you're too good or whatever. I don't, and then be looking at me like,
Right.
like they probably be looking at me like, with this nappy head.
I mean, mine is in the car. I
doing
just
it.
thought it was extra because I knew, you know what I'm saying, when we, you know, anyway. So
I'm saying,
but I'm not out. Like the picture I shared up, people was at Ross with.
oh girl, you saw that.
I mean, come on, like. I like shopping at Ross. I ain't even gonna play. Ross didn't save my ass a few times. Ross didn't really save my ass a few times, so I need a little cute outfit real quick.
Facts.
But what's happening that you need something to wear or need something in your house?
Well, you know what happened is
What's
because
going
they
on?
went bankrupt or they filed for bankruptcy or whatever. Their stores are closing, so everybody's like they're gonna go and buy up the shit. But it's like, what, like, bro, like, really?
No, none of it.
And at the very least, it's a very simple task. At the very, very least, you can put a mask on. What's hard about that? What's hard? A handkerchief, a piece of cloth, anything. Like, at Publix, I'm
I
like,
don't even go. I have not been in the grocery store. The last time I was in Walmart and I did have a mask on, and it was a lady with two grown, I think it was like her kids, but they was grown, or maybe one was a kid, the other was a girlfriend or boyfriend. And she just started loud talking to us about, you know, falling for the white man's
shit. Come on, sis.
We walking into Walmart. Like they, I mean, it's other people out there with masks on with their kids. They just doing what they can.
Come on,
you ain't
sis.
gotta shame people like that.
No, you
and
don't.
She sure did, girl, in front of Walmart. This one over here on on the East West Connector. Yeah, bitch. I almost went off in there. They was late on my medicine, and I had called on, girl. Shit, they got plexiglass all at the pharmacy. It was too much. I don't want that experience.
Girl,
again.
it has been a lot, but it just still really. You can put it out. It's just amazing to me. Like, even like I was frustrated today at the grocery store because I'm actually trying to follow the directions, because you know now they have these one directional lanes or whatever. So I'm trying to do the right thing. But I'm doing the right thing, and it's 12 other people doing the wrong thing. It's just really discouraging. Like, I am so over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl. So that's who I would like. I would like actually to tell you to shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down as well. Both of those. So that's mine. You want to talk about Insecure?
I thought I wanted to talk about Insecure, but I'm a little Molly.
Your face.
Like,
so first, let me tell you this. I did not watch Insecure until last week. I binged it,
okay.
and it's interesting.
It really is. And that was a hell of a punch to binge it like that. So you're all caught up.
I'm all caught up, like waiting on the episode for tonight.
So yeah, under no circumstances was at the time to hold that conversation, but even if so, I could only side with Molly if she would have went straight to him directly, but she didn't. She knew a dude that knew him, so she still really didn't break any type of girl code because she didn't come to him. It would have been a break of the girl code if she would have asked him out to lunch or something and then brought up the conversation. Nah, see, that's where that came from, but that's not what happened. So she saw something in it that really wasn't even there.
I agree.
But it's that whole, it's a good game.
Girl.
If you ain't caught up, you mad right now. But
Right.
You,
Well, I
you done
mean-
had a whole week to catch up. She done caught up in, you know what I'm saying?
Right. In literally in 3.5 days. So.
In 3.5 days. So if you still behind, that's on you. But yeah, that shit was not.
I mean,
what's up.
I don't think that, because I'm thinking just about their relationship over the course of the show. I don't think that. I think that they were just at a place where they were kind of just going their separate ways away. I mean, and it may not have been permanent, but life happens, and you start to do different things than what your friend is doing, and y'all kind of part. And some people look at it as beef, but it's not beef. It's just happening. But when there's feelings of jealousy there, which it seemed like probably both of them kind of had a little bit of it. In regards to their outside friends, you know what I'm saying? I think that's when it kind of, people started looking at it kind of like as beef. But I understand Molly's frustration of not being able to like really talk to her friend when she wanted to. But when somebody was asking me if I would have gone to Andrew, like if I were Molly, if I would have gone to, I know that my best friend, who we ain't said that we ain't best friends no more now. We ain't really fell out for real. We been iffy, but
right.
If my best friend needed that favor, I know she didn't probably used up a whole bunch of fucking favors and all this, that, and the other, but you knew how important this was to Issa. That's my thing. That's where my biggest issue is.
Yeah.
You knew
it should have never happened.
Right. You knew
never even
how
put her in that
important this
position.
was. And it's not like she didn't have the first person and the first person dropped out or whatever happened. I think the girl Condola had something to do with Schoolboy Q dropping out. But
she was looking quite smug.
Oh, child. I think that she did. I hope we find that out tonight.
Smug.
But
I agree.
I don't care how, like, again, I haven't talked to Nikki in a very, very long time. If Nikki called me today and said, I need something that you have, or I need help with something, or can you help me access this? Why wouldn't I? That's my best friend. That's the part that pissed me off. That's the part that really got me. And so then you go and now you want to go and cause a scene, act the shit.
That's so dirty.
In the hood,
no.
like knowing how, girl.
Oh, man.
And like you said, you mad for no reason.
I just feel like she was still respectful with it.
Listen, if honestly, and this is just my own personal opinion, on a business level, if we're talking business, if Issa would have reached out to Andrew herself prior to asking Molly, if she would have reached out to him from business to business saying, this is what I need for my fundraiser, Molly could not have been mad at that either, but she would have been. That's just my own opinion. Now, if she would have went,
it wouldn't have mattered how Issa did it. She just did
she would have been mad, and that's Issa and everybody else's point about Molly. Like nothing is enough.
And it's reflective of her job. It's reflective in all her relationships. But all right,
so we got that out the way.
Okay, we got that out the way. Sorry.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a short break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about the reason why I got Denise here about our tax services, because y'all need to hear this. All of the podcasters that listen to this podcast, y'all need to hear this. All right, so we'll be right back. All right, we back. Needed that little break.
Definitely.
Y'all know what time it is if y'all hear these snacks in the bag. That's all I'm gonna say. So I I'm trash. Okay. for many different reasons, but specifically, I have been very trash, and I know better about filing my taxes. And when I say I know better, like I know better. But if you're anything like me and you have these anxiety issues where you start to think, you know what I mean? You're thinking about things like my whole thing was I don't have any earned income credit anymore. I don't, I did my own taxes, a couple of times, and I owe a whole lot. And it's more than likely because I had anxiety then and was just clicking through it and trying to get through it, because it's not like these are things that I don't know. But if you're anything like me, it's like I should have told myself a long time ago, call Denise. I know Denise does taxes. Let me see if she can help me understand the things that I need to do to not, even if I owe, but to not owe so much. So I called Denise and she came through. One of her first questions was, do you have a business, or, I think that's what you asked. Do you have a business that you have? And I'm like, well, I record a podcast. Mm-hmm. And she was like, okay, bet. So right. So tell us a little bit about how the process works, or actually tell me about your background in filing taxes.
Oh my gosh. I've been filing taxes. It's really a cute story. My mom taught me how to do my taxes when I was 14. Cause I went to Patterson Cooperative High School, class 91 in Dayton, Ohio. So I had a job really early. So I had a little simple tax return to file. And I'm old enough to remember when it first went electronic. I go down to the IRS office and watch what they do. And then you could file it electronically. So it's been a long time, but I worked for H&R Block on and off for 6 years. And then when I was in San Antonio, I went back to school and got a master's in accounting. So I haven't had the time to sit for my CPA, but I got what I wanted out of it.
What was your undergrad in, though? What was your...
My undergrad was in organizational management. Okay. I graduated from Wilberforce in Wilberforce, Ohio. Okay. So that was my undergrad, and I did mortgage underwriting and a whole bunch of different things. So it was kind of natural to kind of see that the brick and mortar tax return was not going to be what people wanted to do, because, people get tired of coming into an office every year to file their taxes. Even if they can drop it off, that is still something that's not fitting into everybody's regular. But you want to be secure with your documents. You just don't want to be emailing your stuff over, or, you want to still feel secure about loading your documents. So it was just important to make sure that I got, a system that supported that. So I have an app that you can use, or I have a link that I can send you on your computer. You can securely send your documents and don't have to worry about, your information being on the cloud and, anybody being able to get to it through, some email.
Mm-hmm. So you said that you had worked off and on for H&R Block for 6 years. Mm-hmm. And then is that when you decided, okay, I'm going to just kind of start what made you say you wanted to start your own tax firm? Or is that what it's called? Is it a tax firm?
It is. Okay. Really, because I got tired of working 2 jobs. I was working tax at a corporate job that I still work full time, mm-hmm. but that is, different taxes and different reporting mm-hmm. than personal taxes at all. But I was in school doing it. I was doing volunteer work at the school, with tax returns, with simple tax returns, working with the undergrads that were getting their undergrad in accounting. Mm-hmm. So it's just been a progressive thing that I knew that I still wanted to be able to offer the best service, like we're sitting in front of each other. And we're virtual, and we can jump on all these different secure platforms to make sure that, we have the conversation and we're clear about what we're doing on your tax return. And there's so many questions that come along, and people think there's a black and white answer to it, mm-hmm. and it's just really not. It's like when I say I need to see what you have, it's so many nooks and crannies into that W-2 and 1099s that you have that unless you know what you're looking for, you really can't explain it to me. So it's hard to answer a lot of people's questions when they want to email and say, well, how much is it going to cost for this? I really have to see what you have. I can give you a range, but I have to see what you have. But trust me, I'm not here to cheat you out of any money. I'm here to save you money. So,
Right.
you know, we're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to offer better service. We're going to continue to be on a higher platform. But in the meantime, we're still working together here. I'm here to help us, because that's been one of our issues, to where them books don't be right. It be sales tax returns to file. It be business licenses to keep up with. It's a lot of that, and I do all of that. So it's a whole picture to it when you're trying to run a business. So as easy as it is, but I mean, as we were speaking in this mic, because we got headphones on, these are deductions for your business.
Right.
You don't not start, spend this money and don't get to recoup it at the end of the year off of whatever income you got from your business. The IRS knows that you're starting a business and you're going to take a loss. Everybody has to set up. If you're taking out loans, at some point you're buying things to get your business started. So, the IRS allows you to take a loss 3 out of 5 years, and then they'll tell you have a hobby. So you have to continue to grow your business. But yes, it's beneficial. I tell people all the time, it's plenty of hustles you should be filing for, especially if you have a day job that pays a decent amount of money and you're paying, if you look at the end of the year, you're paying a good amount out of your check. It's not like, you're only paying $2,000 or $3,000 out of your check. People are paying a good amount of taxes, and to not owe is the benefit for a lot of people. It's not about, we know we passed our income credit. We can't do nothing about it but complain every year. Like, that's
Like, damn, you be so depressed too. You depressed.
that's all you
damn.
got is a lot of complaints. It's just we done, oh man.
You talk about
We
that
done
first
moved-
year.
man,
I
we
ain't
done
get that.
moved into that mess our parents used to talk about. It ain't fair.
Yeah, listen.
You just want to not owe at the end of the year.
When
You
I
be like,
started
thank
making just a little bit of money, which is when I moved here. And I'm like, I ain't even thinking. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, whatever. It's time to file them taxes. I'm like, hold on. Wait a minute. Like, I'm calling my son back home. Like, now, how long did you work? Like, what did you? Because, like, I'm gonna need you. Oh, yeah, another year, player. Like, it is not okay out here in these streets. Like, so I get it. Again, like, I was literally.
I had to step away from the mic on that because it hurts your heart. It hurts your heart when your kid grow up. Yeah, so you gonna get that one.
Bro, you did. Well, you made how much money last year doing what? You was working that much? Like, bro. Like, I still every year be
It's like a dagger to the heart.
look, my son, listen to this. My son works for Chrysler. I still be thinking about it like, did he
It's
make
a done
enough?
deal.
Girl,
It's a done
so
deal.
I get it. But again, I was that person that just, I get so anxious about shit like that, and I just put it off and put it off and put it off. You know what motivated me this time, though? That good old Stimmy. I was like, let me get these taxes filed. But here's my question. What?
Did you get your Stimmy though?
I ain't got it yet.
Have you checked online?
I've been checking, and I finally checked it like the other day, and it said that it'll be mailed out by the 22nd. But for a long time, it didn't.
That's all I could tell people is to keep checking, because I was checking for certain people,
But they
and
hadn't
it was taking baby steps out. This bitch, like, it was breakdancing.
I had gotten an actual return from the state for both years that I filed, and it's still not showing in the federal IRS thing. It's still like my return is still not showing on there in my tax account. But anyway,
we'll look into that. They're back open. They had been closed.
Yeah, I know.
It was like a ghost. Like, we just gonna send out these payments,
right? Like, and then
and
wait.
see
So
how it
speaking
go.
of the payments, real quick, why are, first of all, they're sending out people? They sending out stimulus to people who are dead,
Yeah.
and real niggas is out here cashing them checks. And by real niggas, I mean regular niggas. I mean business niggas. Like nursing homes. There's nursing homes I just read about yesterday that are cashing these people's checks illegally.
Listen.
Y'all gonna let that little $1,200.
Listen. Anybody who is anywhere near this business knew that it was way too many moving parts.
Way too many.
It was just, you couldn't even explain it all to anybody that didn't know what you was talking about.
Right. Like it's going to do what?
You just found yourself like having people's heads spinning, just kind of looking at you like, what the fuck is you talking about? Because it was just so many different things that initially what they were saying just didn't make sense. And unfortunately, millions of people didn't get their money because they had their fees taken out of their refund and it went to MetaBank or whatever bank first and then went to their bank. The IRS sent all of this money to the first bank and basically told the people that tax preparer had their money, but they didn't. They had the bank. You know what I'm saying? The first bank. That's man, like for real. Like if you look at the back of your tax return, if you got your fees taken out of your refund, and you look at the back of your tax return where it has the routing number and the account number, that's that first bank it went to. And then that first bank has a signed contract. That's part of what you sign.
Right.
That says we're going to take out your fees and then give you the rest. And this is what we're going to give you. Right. Ain't no secret to it. The IRS sent the money to the first bank. And now all these millions of people didn't get their money. How are you supposed to be able to explain that, man, as a tax preparer? What I'm supposed to do with that? I mean, for real. I'm just out here doing my job. I'm trying to keep people legal. I'm trying to, install, and like I done called the practitioner line before, and they flat out tell me we don't have nobody at that level that can answer that question for you.
Oh my God, what?
Because I don't need to call for easy shit. You know what I'm saying? If I'm calling, I had to call my old boss at Block. And she just rattled the ICU. She was like, yep, you right. I said, okay, I just needed to bounce it off because it was gray on this paperwork and this law that they passed.
So my question is.
Yeah, I'll get all technical. You got to bring me back down.
It's cool. It's all right. So the type of clients that you typically have, like what would you say the majority? What would you say the majority of people come to you for? So, and when I say that, I mean, like just regular straight 1040 personal taxes, or if they
the regular people that come to me are now either medium high. When I say medium high, I mean 65 to 75 taxable. Or a double income nets over 150. Because it's a lot of credits that you normally would get $2,000 taken off of. But if your income, if you're a single person making $90,000 and you got 2 kids, you're not going to get the full $2,000 credit for each kid, like somebody below your income. Right. It starts phasing out. So even though, yes, you do get a credit, you get less of a credit, and it just doesn't balance out for you as easy. And then, those of us whose kids that grew up, man, like you have to, I mean, it's things like seriously, like I know so many people that do something simple, like they got their medicine that they got to take every month for their allergies. They go pick up their prescription. If your company has a flexible spending account or a health savings account, why wouldn't you get that money taken off your taxable income? I don't care how little bit of a money it is. You saying you don't want to get an IRS no money. If you don't want to get an IRS no money, then why pay taxes on shit you can write off and then be questioning shit that's off the wall? Like there's little things you could do. You just got to chip away at it. It's a whole big picture. So when I look at somebody like you that know how to chip away because of what you do, it's like, oh yeah, let's take the benefit of this.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, so there's always different types of people who talk about earning different types of money, right? Mm-hmm. So it's the majority of us that do this whole 9 to 5 thing, and you have, just like you were talking about, your shut the fuck up people. You have these people who are just like, this 9 to 5, you shouldn't be doing this, and they have all these different opinions of whatever that nobody asked for, and I don't even know why I said that. I think it just popped in my head and it kind of pissed me off. But where was I going with that? Where I was going was I tell people all the time, if you are working a 9 to 5, that you need to understand all of the things that your company offers you. Mm-hmm. So just like you said, if they're offering you a HSA, or if they're offering you a FSA, health savings account or flexible spending account, if they're offering 401k, if they're offering, Roth, whatever, stocks, understand what it is they're offering. All of it. And get a piece of all of it and use it. Because then, like she was saying, you go to your tax professional and they're like, oh, bet you've been doing X, Y, and Z. Like, if it's something that I know that I can benefit from, it's coming out of my check right now. Like, all of it. And I make sure I use all of it. I'm that person, if you work at like a dentist or a eyeglass office, I'm the person that come in December trying to spend up my my HSA. I'm that person. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because they take the money out. It's not like you're not going to use the money. It's not like you're going to not spend the money. You're going to use it. If you go to the doctor, if you get your regular checkups, you are going to use this money. And then it's going to be helpful for you when tax time comes along.
And you got to have patience for that shit.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of silly ass questions. A lot of it don't apply, but I mean, I really don't know how to explain it to somebody. Really, right. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
It's like,
and so
I know what you need to do, but I can't tell you how to do it because it really depends on. All systems aren't the same. It's not like everybody's looking at the exact same screen. There's no secret screen.
Right.
So each, just like every company you work for got their own mainframe. Every tax, setup is different. So, and don't ask me to look in turbo trash. I'm not even taking a peek. You
ain't call it turbo trash.
It's turbo trash. It doesn't even show a real return. I don't. It's all in bubbles and shit. Fuck that. I don't want to look at that. I want to look at a return, a 1040, a Schedule C, a Schedule A. I want to look at it like it look, motherfucker. Not this bubbly shit you done put up here. No.
So
I won't even peek. Don't ask me.
So
it's a no. No.
So when it comes to excuse me, something like so specifically, because like I said, I wanted the people who are podcasters listening to this to kind of understand a little bit of the process that I went through. That I went through to file my taxes. And as a podcaster, as podcasting being my business. So what would you need from them? What would you need from them? Or what would be your suggestions as to how they would gather up whatever information they need?
Ironically, for a lot of people that had homes before Trump changed the tax laws and he doubled the standard deduction, they would itemize. Even the married filing jointly used to be $12,000. So it was easy to beat that with the taxes you paid to your state, your taxes you paid on your property that you own, your mortgage interest, and then like they were writing off expenses for their job. So once they removed the ability to write off expenses for your job, period, it's no longer on that form, and they doubled the amount that you have to beat, a lot of people now cannot beat that and take the advantage of that. But they're still working side hustle jobs that they could be writing these expenses off of.
But so side hustle like what though?
Like you could be doing plumbing, like you could be doing a podcast. You still, it's not like we can just sit here and talk to each other without the mics. without the headphones, you wouldn't be given the quality that you want to give. So you buy these things that for your business. Where else are you going to write it off? You can't write it off from your day job. You have to write it off from your business, but you have to have some bookkeeping for your business. And it could just be as simple as your business account. And whatever comes out of your business account just needs to be split up. I think I sent you an easy version of a Schedule C that reads a lot easier to where it's easier on the eyes than what it really looks like.
Because it really is a bunch of mumbo jumbo on all those forms.
Right.
Yeah.
When I send it to you in an actual Schedule C, it's just not pleasing to the eye. So that platform that was sent to you just made sense. It was just like a list.
Have you seen the W-4 about to change? Did you see that?
I mean, I had to break down to somebody, a few of my clients that if they like, I can help them, fill out the new W-4. They need to, because
it's simple though.
It's simple. It's simple until you have. It's simple until you have two incomes that are nice, and you end up at around 200, 300K, and that's not outlandish for us. It's Atlanta,
right?
It's Ohio. It's a lot of people doing good, so that's not off the wall expensive, and I mean really high like that, and they're dwindled out of credits, so they end up taking a lot of the tax burden. And even though they could be paid $16,000-$17,000 out of their check, they might still owe at the end of the year, just depending on what dependents they have to claim. It's fucked up, man.
Yeah. So just in case y'all didn't know, there will be a new W-4 coming out. From what I understand, you're not going to be required. Like if you already have a W-4 on file, you're not going to be required to fill it out as at this moment. But I don't even think it's supposed to be available until like.
I've had to talk to people who got it actually in 2020 since they didn't got a job at the first of the year. Okay. That had that new one. And it can be kind of confusing, but really the only people that have to be concerned with completing it is those that make more than $75,000 in taxable income, and couples that make more than $150,000. It's worthy to fill it out, because this is my thing. Like as much, I promise y'all, if whatever we can put your money to that is not taxable money, I will help you understand why you need to be in these different programs that your main job offers. If you don't have that ability, you still are paying business insurance. I pay my insurance ain't that much, yo. Like you will be surprised when you're paying your car insurance and you're on time. All you got Geico, all of them, they offer it. And when I tell you, it's less than a lot of what we spend on what we like to do. Like we just need to be responsible when you out there and you selling your shea butters. I mean, we just doing so much. I just really want people to be able to take care of the benefit of the money that you're spending towards your passion. I know so many people that sell jewelry, that you have to buy that shit up front. They be having racks and racks and racks and racks and racks and racks and racks of that shit. You ain't writing that shit off. How are you not writing this off? Okay. Right. It's like my skin start crawling. I just be itching,
because they just don't really realize like like how important that can be. And I mean, like so whenever you hear me talk about starting a business, and I don't really talk about it a lot, because I think that a lot of people talk about it a lot, so I really don't. But I know it's not for everybody. Right. And I think that a lot of people are doing things that kind of the other way around. Like they consider it a hobby, but they make money from it. You know what I mean? Like, right. So some people don't really understand that it should be the other way around. Like you know what I mean? Like it's a business. They tell you it's a hobby. Right. So, and when I talk about starting a business, I always say you have to spend money to make money. So, and basically what that means is like, people always compliments my podcast on the cover art that I put on the podcast. Thank you. And so I'm like, well, I use Canva and I use the paid version. and it's like $13 a month. And it was worth it. That's my whole point. It was like I wasn't even thinking in my head like I need to write this stuff off on my taxes, but I was definitely saying I'm gonna pay for this, or I'm gonna pay for StreamYard because I want, my quality.
Like, what's $13?
Right, exactly.
And you simply get to write that off what you pay per month. That is your business expense. Why?
Yes. When I got my laptop, like the main reason, because I have a laptop, but it was just old and it was slow, but it worked. I mean, I could do what I needed to do.
Amen.
And I was like, you know what? I need something. I need to be a little bit more productive than what I can be. And I'm specifically thinking because of my podcast, because really that's the only reason why I'm always on the damn laptop, is doing stuff for podcasting, or I'm tweeting with my podcast people, and I'm doing all this and other. So why wouldn't I write that off? You know what I mean? Like, but it was just because I wasn't really thinking about it until you said something. And that's my whole thing. Like, talk to somebody, you know what I'm saying? Talk to somebody about stuff like that. Like, y'all listen.
People are driving to other cities to shows and coming into Atlanta
because I'm gonna tell you this. I
love beauticians and barbers. Hey,
I was going to
ice strippers too. It's a lot of shit to write off. Strippers are gonna have COVID relief.
Yeah. Oh, are they?
Watch. They've been laid off because of COVID.
I had I was going to a podcast thing, Smoke Free Weekend. I'm not really sure if it's still happening in July now. It was in April at first. But I was definitely gonna write that all. That was definitely a business trip. Like, that was definitely gonna be a business trip on, you know what I'm saying, like next year's taxes or whatever. So, but it's because I'm aware now, and I just wanted, like I said, the people who are podcasting, who are actually spending money to podcast, to make sure that they knew what they needed to do or what they needed to keep up with when it all came down to them, using a tax service or whatever.
As much as like virtual works, we are gonna both, miss for a little while that ability to get out and be, one-on-one with people a little bit. Because we both like doing events. So I pick up a lot of business at events. That's what Atlanta's for.
Yes.
That's what makes it so hot. Ooh.
Yes. Absolutely.
What you out for if you're not talking business?
Absolutely. You got to have a business card.
I got two. I got corporate. I got the both. What you want to do?
Right.
What we doing?
Yep, that's real.
So,
we'll
miss that for a little while.
I know. So back to what they would like typically, like, just an overview of the process. Like, just give us like an overview of your tax service process. If, say, for instance, they have a small business, and what would they need to do? What would they need to give to you? How would they do that?
Well, I don't need all of the receipts, but I do need the numbers. So I'm hoping that they have been doing something on QuickBooks. QuickBooks has very simple programs where you just take a picture and put it in a folder, and it add it up for you. Does all types of shit, scans and stuff. So I don't need all the receipts, but if you haven't been keeping up with your books, we can always discuss some of those options, because that Easy Schedule C kind of breaks it down. And usually people can come to and understand what was at least coming in and out of their bank account.
That's what I did.
Right. You know what you spent your money on. You just need a reminder on it. So once you go down there, you be like, oh yeah, that was that. That was that. That was that.
And you can go into your online banking and literally download an Excel over a period of time. So yeah.
So, you can even give me the raw data of that, and I can figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of different ways to get to it. It just depends on what people actually have. So, that's a conversation that normally is a little private.
Okay, I got you. Okay. So, if there's one thing that you could tell people about tax services, like, what would it be? Like, let me think of a more specific question. Like,
I got one thing. It's quick. If your tax preparer is not willing to explain anything to you where it makes sense to you, like the second half of it might be over the top, you didn't like zoned out, like la 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 la. But if the first part of it didn't even make sense to you, like you can't explain to somebody else why you have this deduction on your tax return, that's the problem. Because that tax preparer may not be available when you get the letter from the IRS. A lot of time, it's just as simple as answering a letter, sending the receipts. Like, you're not saying you don't have the receipts. You're just saying you ain't have them organized. Well, now you got to get them organized. Just let's get them organized.
Right.
Like, we wasn't lying out here. We just wasn't necessarily the best organizers of it out here. You know what I'm saying? And shit, if after you submit, you want to send shit and want to get organized and want to work on the way, we can do that too. But it don't have to be, the IRS don't have time for shit like that. But, there's issues they'll send a letter on if they get something different. I mean, people be forgetting they work little jobs for a couple of months and
Yeah.
or they leave a job and they forget they cashed in their 401k, so they didn't give you. That's easy.
Or people
shit.
who start with like Uber and Lyft and ain't really thinking about it like that.
Just this, let floating income. So I mean, they're gonna send you a letter on something. That ain't nothing to panic about. Like you ain't gotta spill the whole beans.
Right.
But like, see, that's gonna fuck with the IRS. No, let me read the goddamn letter. Can I read it? Or is he sending me pieces of the letter? Can I read the whole letter? I need the whole letter from the motherfucking top to the motherfucking bottom, and send me the envelope. I can't tell you if it's real or fraudulent if you cutting shit off the letter. It's not a part-time answer. I need the whole picture. I swear to God, I love my people. I swear to God, I love
They be saying, fuck the IRS.
Fuck the IRS. You sending me texts and half for the fucking letter. I love y'all though.
Woo.
So yeah.
Oh, that was a good one.
You ain't gotta feel no type of way for bringing me a mess. I done seen it
You
all.
done seen it all,
I've been
right.
the cleanup woman. Rest her soul. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Been the cleanup woman. So let's just get it done. Let's just do better from this day forward. That's all.
Right.
It ain't no big deal. It's
And
just
my
numbers.
my tip is when you get your when you get your W-2 and there's some stuff on there that you don't know what it means, first of all, I hope y'all are looking at y'all W-2s. That's first.
It's not happening.
No, I'm gonna take it back. I know it's not happening, but
sorry, baby. I gotta
Hold on,
interject.
I know.
Y'all don't have to look at no W-2s. Just look at me. Just call me up.
Listen.
Just go and hit me up on theboldtax.com.
I'm gonna take it a step back
for the
though.
service, because
I'm gonna take it a step back. I'm gonna need y'all at least once a month. At least once a month to look at your paycheck, like to look at your check stub. You should have access to a check stub via a portal or via maybe they mail you your check stub. And these are for the people who are getting direct deposit, or actually everybody, because you need to know how to read your pay statement.
Cute. You are
I know.
so cute.
I know. I
Big
know it
ups
don't,
to my
I know
homegirl
it don't
Jamie,
happen.
that's the HR manager. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know it don't happen.
I know it just don't. It don't.
So, where I was going with the W-2 was, if indeed you are the person that is halfway responsible and look at your paycheck, look at your W-2. If there's something on your W-2 that you don't understand it, you can go to your payroll person at your job, and they should be able to explain to you what it means.
Let me do you one better. Let me do you one better. You can actually Google.
You really can.
What is W code on my
You really can.
W-2?
And it'll be a whole poster.
It will show you what all the codes are.
Yep.
And if from then you still don't know what to do with it, because there is some other steps to do with it. Because if you had money taken out of your taxable income for certain accounts that you were supposed to spend before the end of the year, and they sent you something, and there's so many tax documents that people look at and think they don't mean shit, but they explain shit. If you leave it on there, it'll be added back as taxable income. And the way the new 1040 is, it doesn't say that clearly. It has additional taxes all together and then another schedule for you to look at instead of a tax return that told you what it was. It used to say additional tax on HSA account. It don't say that no more. It just is in your tax, and you don't even, if you don't know what to look for, you don't see it. It's just added back to what you owe. So you have to know how to answer questions right. And I don't know how to. I couldn't even tell nobody how to answer the questions because I'm not gonna sit there and read off the questions because each they funny like that. Each different system want to ask you in a different way,
and it's just
crazy. Like I can't explain it.
It's just like when I used to work in HR, and people would fill out the W-4, and they would go through that whole worksheet. And then they end up having like 37 dependents because that's how it reads, right? And then so they're not getting anything taken out of their check at all. They're getting no federal. Again, this is when I say you need to look at your paycheck stub. There's no taxes coming out of your check. So then here I am when I used to work at the nursing home as the payroll HR coordinator. I'm sitting there. And people get their W-2s and they come in after they done went to H&R Block or wherever. Mad than a motherfucker because they ain't getting no taxes taken out. So I have to sit there because, my whole theory when I worked at the nursing home was, and I had to tell the business manager this because they never understood how I dealt with folks. But I said, look, as long as they don't come across this desk, we're not going to have a problem. And I dealt with some really nasty attitudes, okay? They come in. H&R Block said, y'all ain't taking nothing out of my check. Da, 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 da. I let them get it all out. What's your name again? Okay, we're going to go pull this W. We're going to go pull this W-4. And, I can't give any type of tax advice. I can't do that.
Right.
But what I always say,
because you don't know if their kid's really eligible to claim
facts.
this. You filling out this
Facts.
shit.
So what I always would say during the orientation is, when people start asking questions, I'm like, look, I can't give you any type of advice. All I'm gonna say is, you do not want to owe the IRS. Like the more you put on there, more dependents you put on there. That's it. That's really all I can say. But again, it all goes back because my question is, you didn't realize that there was no federal coming out of your check the whole time?
No, because they be acting like all the other shit is federal.
Exactly. So that tip, and then the other tip again. The other tip again is, I love my people though. I know. I love you. I know. The other tip again is to, when open enrollment comes up at your job in November. October, they usually start, giving out the information for it. Ours. You need to go through the documents, y'all. Like, just take 30 minutes, go through the documents, and see what it is that you can get that'll help you in the long run. Like she said, if you're buying prescriptions, they will sit like you're already
you and your dependents. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
We got all these kids that unfortunately got asthma and allergies and stuff.
If you're paying child care fees, eczema, any of that stuff, man, you can you can. There are accounts that a lot of these jobs have that you can start putting. They'll take the little bit of money. You won't even miss that money out your check. You won't even miss it. They'll take it and they'll put it in a separate account where you can, and they'll send you a card for it and you can use it as it is, and then it'll work for you in the long run. You're already paying for prescriptions. You could do that with the FSA or HSA account depending on how your job sets up FSA and HSA.
I did it with when I had to pay for parking in Midtown.
Yep.
We had to pay for parking. I sure did.
Yep.
I used the card every month.
Yep.
Pay for my monthly due.
So, even again, like the stocks, like all of that stuff, just take a few minutes. And if you feel like it's overwhelming, that's what your HR professionals are for. That's what human resources is there for. Book up an appointment with HR.
Especially now, they everybody's going out their way to be extra. Is your company going out their way to be extra?
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot. It's a lot of us that's in payroll. I know it's.
Yeah.
Man, I've lost clients. There's clients that I had that I was directly in contact with that are no longer with us with huge firms. And it's just
I was telling her, I think I might have even said it on the podcast last week that it's like I work basically in projects though. So I work on a project basis. So my last project ended in like the end of February, which I still do a little bit on it from time to time or whatever, but it ended then, and there's typically a waiting period. So during that waiting period, all of the consultants or whatever will be doing training, will be doing, just trying to pass the time away. They'll put us on little ad hoc projects, but Big Rona hit and all that shit came to a stop. So literally, I'm in between projects right now. Like I have not been assigned, but the company that I work for, they've really like I'm impressed. Like as much as I despise the type of shit that goes on in corporate America, like I am kind of impressed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And but it still gives me a whole heap of anxiety because every day I don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like I don't know when I log on to work tomorrow. Am I gonna get that call? Like you know what I'm saying? But
I pray not.
I pray not either. I'm not trying to speak that into the universe, but it is the things that you know what I'm saying. You think of, but my company has been doing a really good job, but we've been losing. I mean, like everything in our pipeline has just come to a halt. Wow. Either people have pulled out completely, or they said we're gonna pause this indefinitely. And we're talking like the department I work for, it's the company always has at least 10,000 employees. It's rough. It's rough. Like it's rough, but yeah. So
and and to know that you done lost all of that and people are mad about wearing a mask. But you want to be out though, like I don't want to be in a mask either. But I just don't go out. Like I let people live, yo. I'm
and people are like,
sheesh.
Like, and there's actually companies that are. I don't know if you heard about Twitter, but they're allowing their associates to work from home forever now.
Wow.
Like they've completely transitioned over.
Wow.
These are the big things that are gonna start happening.
Right. And and it's crazy because I've been ready. Like I've been wanting to have the opportunity. I really had to think back and forth about having a brick and mortar this year, and I talked myself out of it. And I'm glad I did because that's really not what I'm about. Like I'm really. Let's set up a Zoom call. We can, be private. We can still talk about your stuff. It still don't matter to what you send to me anyway. And I have 2 secure ways for you to send it to me. So how do you prefer? It's what you want, on the phone or your computer. That's all I need to know.
Right.
And the information from there. Let's go from there.
And it works.
Clear.
It works. You know what I'm saying? So I in just speaking about the whole virus thing, like. It's horrible. It's whack. Like I hate it, and I hate everybody that has something to do with it spreading, and that we're negligent about it spreading. On the other hand, I do feel like there will be something good to come, and I know that sounds
there'll be a lot of good
yucky,
to come.
but I think that there'll be a lot of realizations. There'll be a lot of just everything, just but like you said, when you said you talked yourself out of the brick and mortar, like you know what I'm saying, like would have made sense for you to do that.
But it's crazy to think though, like all the best Terminators and everything, like we really are climbing on into that IT world, just like it said we would be. Like it's kind of interesting. That's the best word I can say without sounding like a
It does. It's
conspiracy theorist, and
it
I'm
feels
not,
like we're in a
but,
movie.
You know what I'm saying? It really does. It
Truman
feels like
Show
we
is what I
being-
always say. Do you remember Truman Show?
Yes.
That's what I always think of. Like when I really think
Let me
about
hit
it.
the mic on that one.
Yes.
That was my shit.
Like, was
Yeah.
that your like? That was my shit. Like,
yeah.
I hate that it's like not on Netflix. That movie was so
Yeah.
crazy. But
It
that's what
was-
it feels like. We're in this bubble, and like everybody is just like watching us. Everybody is watching us.
It's like a mix of that and the Matrix. Like,
Yes.
it don't matter how woke you are, which piece of the pond, or what you go. Oh,
It don't
man.
even matter because you have an answer, and you have an answer too, and we all got to work together on that answer, but we just can't. Like,
It's just.
it's wild. But
I mean, a wise man told me often that there'll never be a time when all the tribes been getting along. Okay,
That's
so
real.
it's this shit on Netflix called
put me on.
The Last Kingdom.
I haven't seen it.
Have you?
I haven't seen it.
It's 4 seasons. I think the last time I was this pulled into a show that had nothing to do with us, and that one at least did a little bit, was what was that one with the vampires on it?
Girl, I don't
First
watch
Blood.
nothing like that. I don't know.
I can't even think of the name of that shit.
True Blood.
True Blood.
Okay, I don't even watch it, but
That was my shit. That's the last time I watched some more raunchy shit like this. But it's about these kings during King Edward of Wessex and King something of Mercia, and it is like true. It's crazy as shit, right? And they be killing and having these different wars like the whole time, and everybody betrays everybody. Like, no bullshit. Like, ain't got shit to do with your race. It ain't got shit to do with your religion, because like the Sussexes and the such and such else's, they both Christians, but they still not the same tribe, so they'll turn on each other. So it ain't religion, it ain't color. All these motherfuckers happen to be pale face in this one. When I tell you, these motherfuckers will kill their brothers, they sisters, they sons, they daddies themselves. Oh my God, it has been really a cluster fuck on my brain, because
I'm gonna have to watch it now.
girl, they be getting it in. Like, wow, y'all was, man, and y'all try to say black people be doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all motherfuckers is off the chain.
Facts.
And then I sit here watching this shit as an English born citizen. So my mama was Irish, the birth mom. So I'm watching this shit kind of giggling like, yeah, this is why I'm like low key crazy. But hey, I do really great taxes.
She does. She does. And
I do really great taxes.
And it's worth what you're gonna pay.
Almost definitely. 'Cause
It's
I'm
worth
easy.
like I was so like, thank you, Jesus. Like for real. Like I was, man, like I couldn't send you that money fast enough.
Listen, anybody that want to question my price, I can show you in the system what the system say I should be charging you. And when I tell you,
Right.
you will never ask me another question about my price again.
Now, do you do the cash advances too? Do you do those?
We do those, but I mean, when I was at Block, a lot of people didn't get approved. It's still a loan.
Yes.
And it seems to me it's gotten really stingy. So, for the fact that we're probably talking about somebody who does get earned income credit, and their kid is still a kid, and ain't nothing gonna change from year to year like that. Same job, they've been at the same job. They got a pretty good odds of getting it, but it probably ain't gonna be the $3,000 that they offering.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'd be, $1,200, and if $1,200 works for you, then that's fine. If $500 works for you, that's fine. but we have no control over what the bank is going to approve you for, because we're not
Right.
looking at your credit report.
Right.
They still going to run your credit. I don't give a fuck what they say.
Right.
They ain't even trying to really loan out money like that no more. It's just, in my opinion, a way to kind of, get people to come and do business with you. And there's nothing wrong with that, because there's plenty of times in my life I needed my money
Right. I feel it.
within 24 hours. You know what I'm saying?
I feel it.
So, yeah, it's there if you want it, but it's still, still got to go through the bank. So, we can't really guarantee much just looking at a tax return.
And you have to pay for that. Like, that's not a free service, right?
Yeah, it's not a, the bank has their fees, and it all comes out of your tax return, but you can go through all of that and owe child support and not even be getting
not getting that.
Or owe on your student loan and not nobody get paid and shit.
Right.
So it's still, a chance for the bank to give you that money, within 24 hours. So, it costs I don't know.
All right. Well, so what I'll do is I'll put your information in the show notes.
That's probably best.
Yeah, I'll put your information. I'll put these information in the show notes. If you have any questions about her services, if you still have not done your taxes, if you need a new tax professional for next year, whatever the case may be, I am giving the seal of approval because I ain't got to think about this shit no more. Like, that's that's the relief of it all. Like, I knew Denise already, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I already knew. I mean, she left us at the stadium, but I'm over that, I think.
I don't even need you to be over that. I need you. That's cool that you remember that. So remember, I ain't gonna do no bullshit. Like, that's what some people be mad at. They come to me with some old blank bullshit and want the same magic wand. I'm sorry. It just depends. We can have.
We not doing no illegal
There's
shit.
a lot of shit we can do, but we not just out here jumping the fence.
We not making up no shit.
No, shit.
We not doing none of that because ain't nobody.
And my suggestion to people is to, while you're watching your pay stub, just make it kind of simple. At least pay 10% of what your net pay is
to some, right?
At least pay 10% to federal, and more than likely, with your standard deduction and the other things you do, you'll be okay. But folks, be claiming exempt for like 4, 5, 6 months, out the year. Then you gotta play catch up, and don't nobody want to look at a check trying to play catch up. It just, none of that works for us no more. I gotta change
mine too.
But so really you just claim yourself on the new one,
right?
And it's not that bad. But yeah, it's the double income. I have some that have double incomes that are pretty high, and it would benefit them to figure it out, because if you underpay throughout the year, even though you've paid a lot, all you're gonna do is owe penalty and interest on it. I'm saying, if you don't want to pay the IRS, why would you want to pay them a penny more?
Right. Exactly.
You don't want to pay them anyway. So if you see that every year you owe $5,000 at the end of the year, find somewhere else to put that money that you can write it off at the end of the year, which can be a simple IRA account that just automatically comes out of your check. Some high yield savings accounts can be included depending on if they're attached to your business. It's just a lot of pieces to the pie.
And honestly, if you change one thing, just like we were saying, like the HSA, FSA, anything like that, if you start to contribute to, like, just start out with one thing, the difference in your paycheck, it's not going to be significant. If you go in, as a novice and you just doing like the bare, whatever the minimum is or whatever, it's not going to mess you up. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to miss paying a bill. You're not going to miss paying a bill.
You ain't even going to miss getting the bag that you wanted. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even missing the
You're not going to miss
pickup you want.
Right, exactly. Like,
and if you are, then let it go, because this is going to benefit you.
Yeah, facts.
Or, do a show and have drinks for everybody and have a reason to be done bought this liquor.
Right. Right.
But I need you to keep up with some of that. I need you to know when you went to certain shows Man, we do all types of events, and you don't get no profit off of that shit. You're building your business,
Child,
and the IRS respects that. They know that,
I wish I could write this weed off. That's what I wish.
Yeah, you don't even. I mean, it was so crazy because at the time when when we went legal, I was still in sales tax.
When who went legal?
And when we went legal in certain states,
Oh, okay.
I was still doing sales tax returns and business licenses. As soon as that shit was turned on, like the main thing on everybody's page, Colorado, all of these local taxes and shit, was this new marijuana tax. I was like, these greedy motherfuckers. I gotta duck and dodge and hide to get to the shit that I'm trying to get to, just the regular old sales tax shit on.
You already know.
Because you got weed all on your main page. That was crazy.
Got the damn flash and marijuana plants on their page.
I was like, these motherfuckers couldn't wait to get this money. Yes. Immediately, as soon as it was turned on, I was so mad. Like, damn, I can't get to this shit. I'm looking for it.
So anyway, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. It's been real.
It's been real, y'all. Just,
I'm going to have you come back, and we don't got to talk about tax shit.
Bookkeeping services. Bold tax and bookkeeping services on Facebook. And
why is you whispering though?
We need to go because I need some water.
Okay.
I'm eating Chex Mix, y'all.
My mouth dry as hell.
That was not a good move.
I should have brought the water up here.
See, she paying me back. See, this is payback for leaving her and Nikki and Toy. Yeah, leaving them out in the cold. But they made it.
All right then, y'all. But let me go get us some water because my mouth is dry. So thank you for tuning in to the Live Life Podcast. I hope that y'all pick something up from this. And again, I'll have Denise's information in her tax services while she's back in the mic.
She ain't gonna bite me no more. I'm so one and done.
I will have it in the show notes, y'all. So until you hear me again, peace.
Good night.